All right, today we're going to take a really close look at the physical backbone of one of Asia's most dynamic, up-and-coming economies, Bangladesh. For any investor who's even thinking about this market, understanding its infrastructure, well, it isn't just important, it's everything. So let's jump right in. So let's say you're looking to invest in an emerging market, a place with some real high-growth potential. You're hunting for that next big opportunity. It's exciting stuff, for sure. But where? Where do you even start your homework? What's the first thing you look at? Well, before you even think about putting a single dollar on the table, the very first thing you've got to check is the foundation. And I mean the physical foundation. We're talking roads, ports, the power grid, the whole shebang. This stuff isn't just background noise, It's the literal bedrock your entire investment is going to be built on. Which, really begs the question, why does all this infrastructure stuff matter so much? Well, because having good infrastructure isn't just a nice to have. It's not about convenience. It is a direct driver of your success. Let's break down exactly what that means. Okay, think of it in 5 key ways. First up, you've got operational efficiency, right? Reliable roads and stable power mean you're not dealing with costly production shutdowns. Simple as that. Now that directly feeds into number 2, a stable supply chain. Your goods can actually move smoothly from the factory to the port. When that happens, you get number 3. A boost in global competitiveness. Because guess what? Modern facilities attract more investment from overseas. And number 4 is huge, risk mitigation. Good infrastructure protects your entire operation from sudden energy shortages or logistical nightmares. And finally, number 5, something people often forget, employee welfare. I mean, good housing and reliable transport, that's absolutely crucial if you want to hang on to the top talent you need to run your business. Okay, so now that we have that framework in our heads, let's take a look at the situation on the ground. Right now, what does Bangladesh's infrastructure landscape actually look like for an investor today? The transportation network is probably the best place to start. I mean, Bangladesh has a pretty substantial road system. We're talking over 22,000 kilometers of highways that link up all the key economic centers. Then you have the railways. Now, historically, they've been a bit behind, but right now they're getting a major facelift, specifically to handle more cargo. The ports, of course, are the absolute lifeline of the country's trade. And up in the air, the main international airport in Dhaka is expanding just to keep up with all the growth. And if you want to understand just how vital those ports are, just look at this number, a staggering 90%. That's right, 90% of the entire country's international trade flows through just one single hub, the Port of Chittagong. That makes its efficiency, its development, absolutely critical to the whole economy. To put it simply, the health of this one port is pretty much the health of the nation's trade. All right, let's talk power. On the energy front, the government has set a really ambitious goal, 100% electricity access for everybody. Now, natural gas is still the main player, but they're strategically bringing in imported LNG to make sure the supply is stable. And what's really exciting, I think, is the momentum that's building behind renewable energy projects, especially solar and wind. And it's not just about concrete and steel. Beyond the hard infrastructure, there's this whole business ecosystem that's growing. The government's setting up what they call Special Economic Zones, SEZs, and they offer investors some really powerful perks, like tax holidays that last for years. At the exact same time, the digital infrastructure is just exploding. We're seeing massive growth in mobile networks and broadband, connecting the country in ways we've never seen before. And on top of all that, there are these e-governance initiatives that are designed to cut through the red tape and just make it easier to do business. That ecosystem also extends to supporting your people. I mean, think about your international staff. For them, finding quality housing is a huge deal. In the big cities, you're looking at rents for a furnished apartment somewhere in the ballpark of 30,000 to 65,000 taka a month. And that's a really critical detail you got to factor in when you're putting together an expat package. Now, it's important to understand that none of this is happening by accident. This isn't just random growth. The government of Bangladesh has a very clear master plan. They're being proactive here, building a modern foundation with one goal in mind: attract foreign investment and fuel real long-term growth. And you can see this plan in action. We're talking about massive, strategic projects that are coming to life right now. Take the Padma Bridge. That thing is an absolute game changer. It's expected to slash travel times from the southwest region to Dhaka by hours and boost the regional GDP by more than 1%. You've got the 2 main ports, Chittagong and Mongla, getting major upgrades to handle more traffic. New power plants and LNG terminals are going up to make sure the lights stay on. And that network of special economic zones, it's constantly expanding to bring in new investors. And you see the pattern, right?
This focus on transport, energy, and digital, it's not an accident. It's a calculated strategy, and it's designed to be the foundation for the country's entire economic future.
So that's what's happening right now. But what about what's next? Let's fast forward a bit. Let's take a glimpse into the future and see how the country's priorities for infrastructure are expected to shift as we head towards 2035. Okay, let's really break this table down because it tells a fascinating story. If you look back at 2015, transportation and energy were pretty much tied, both sitting at around 20% in terms of priority. Now look ahead to 2035. Transportation is projected to leap up to 35% and energy to 30%. But here's the really interesting part. Digital infrastructure. It's set to literally double its importance. And this isn't random. It's a clear strategic pivot away from just meeting basic needs to building a much more tech-savvy, logistics-focused economy. And this chart here just makes that shift so incredibly clear. You can literally see the trend line going up, up, up across these key sectors. Just look at the green bars. Those represent 2035. And notice how they're always the highest. It's just a powerful visual confirmation that this is a country that is methodically, piece by piece, building towards a more sophisticated economic future. So what does this future actually look like on the ground? Well, it's a future that's connected, thanks to things like high-speed rail systems. It's sustainable, with a huge push towards renewable energy. It's digital, with a goal of getting high-speed internet to everyone. And it's smart, with a new focus on really innovative ways to manage water and waste to support all that new industry. Look, if there's just one thing you take away from all this, it should be this. Bangladesh isn't just growing by chance. It is strategically and very intentionally building a modern, efficient infrastructure landscape. And it's doing it so it can compete on the world stage and support global businesses for decades to come. The country is laying the foundation, brick by brick. They are building their future right now. And really, that leaves every single potential investor out there with one very simple but very compelling question. Will you be a part of it?